I'm not a great gardener by any means, but I do love this image of Jesus as the vine and all of us as the branches. And so I would just invite you in this season of springtime, when new life is budding forth all around us, that we sit with that image and mold it over in the course of our day of Jesus, you are the vine, we are the branches. And I want to remain close to you. Jesus ends today's gospel by saying, whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit. Each one of us want to bear those good fruits of greater faith, stronger hope, more abundant charity that's expressed in the deeds of love. But he says the price for that fruit is a pruning. And you know that pruning is always painful, and none of us want to be pruned. One of the more recent acts of pruning that's going on in my life right now is Father Mackey, who's the superior of the Bellarmine community, said, Michael, you have entirely too much stuff and you're spreading out over the entire retreat house in the Jesuit community. You need to cut back, and I am pruning you. So he said, you have stuff in like 4 or 5 closets. I want that to be consolidated into 2. Let me tell you, that's painful. Anyway, we've thrown away 6 huge dumpsters of garbage and stuff that I didn't need, and I'm only about 2/3 of the way through. What's the pruning that takes place within your own life? What is it that you need to let go of? There's the physical stuff, but the more difficult pruning is the stuff when people challenge us and they point out our own deficiencies and our shortcomings. And sometimes that comes gently with words of love, and sometimes it comes pretty harshly. And it's very difficult not to get defensive in the face of that. Wouldn't it be nice if the Lord just, gently whispers in our ear and says, Michael, you need to cut back and to clean your closets. I said, yes, Lord, yes, Lord. But when it comes in the form of a stern directive and say, look, buddy, you got a problem here, and I'm going to help you, it's difficult not to close down in the face of that. Case in point, in the early Christian community, the good fruit that is so much in evidence is a result of Paul's and Barnabas's ministry. They're preaching the gospel to the Gentiles. That's a good thing. And they come back and they tell all of these conversions that are going on. But with that growth comes the first major problem that really hits the early Christian community, and that's, do we have to follow the Mosaic law? What it meant to be a Jew was to follow the law. The Jewish people were proud of the fact that God had given them this law, and the mark of the law was circumcision for the men. And so this is a controversy that rocked the early Christian community, and there's much tension and division in the midst of the early Christian community among people who wanted to serve the Lord, who loved the Lord, who were good people. And the question is, do you need this particular kind of pruning to show that you belong to the Lord? Or is there a different kind of pruning within your heart? Where are the areas of growth within your life? Bring those to the Lord. And pray that our hearts might be humble enough and patient enough to say, Lord, I really want to grow. I want to grow closer to you. Help me to let go of the dead wood. Help me to humble my pride. Help me to do whatever it is that's necessary to bear much fruit. Amen? Amen.